Someone needs to start.
There we go.
Alright, now we're
And
in the
we're
game.
off.
So how you doing today, Ari?
I am doing well.
You sound kind of tired.
I was just playing Call of Duty with my roommate for the past hour, and it's hot and sweaty in my apartment.
It's like the best way for it to be.
Yeah,
Steamy fucking Call of
that's
Duty.
the worst way for it to be. Just a couple of swinging dicks playing Call of Duty.
I love the imagery. Alright, so we do see a Mumu and Sejuani bans coming on. Sejuani seems to be a regular ban this tournament. That like AoE, ulti, and her dash and everything, just, you know, wonderful initiate, so people really don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, even with all of her recent nerfs, she still is extremely good choice in the jungle.
Ooh, we see the Nunu ban coming down.
Not too surprised by that either. Nunu right now, even with the nerf to his consume, he can still just walk in and outsmite you with his consume at level 1.
Yeah, that consume smite combo is just a little too good, and you pretty much have to have the reflexes of a god to make sure that you don't get your buff smited out.
Yep.
And we do see the Errylander being targeted on Thrar. Thrar definitely showing that he is a threat on the top lane with that Errylander pick. So they don't wanna risk that.
I can understand wanting to ban that out, but Aurelia just as a whole right now is in a pretty bad position, and she's really easy to shut down early game with like 1 or 2 ganks, and when she gets behind, it just turns her late game into complete trash.
Yeah, definitely. We do see both the major supports, that ones that can make the big plays, are getting banned out, and I'm not very surprised there.
Yeah, Thresh and Blitzking both tears in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I don't think we've actually seen a Thresh even getting picked up this tournament. No one's actually allowed him to be picked.
Yeah, he's pretty much got 100% ban rate right now. And I'd almost say Blitzcrank's right up there with him.
Yeah, so now we're just waiting on Xin over here to make his decision on who he wants to pick. Oh, alright, we see the Sona grab.
Go with the early Sona, so it'll be interesting to see if they want to go with like a full AoE comp or what they're going to build around that.
Yeah, but Sona's definitely very versatile and very, very strong in the bottom lane. Definitely she's just a bit lower tier than Thresh, but I would say she's pretty high up there.
Yeah, since she got changed a little bit and her base armor and magic resist got beefed up a little bit, it's kind of made her not strictly target the Sona in the bottom lane.
Although we do see Purple Team, in response to that Sona, going for a very, very aggressive bottom lane combo with the
I like
MF
that
Leona.
pickup. I like that choice in the bottom lane. I'd expect to see a level 3 hard engage on the bottom lane, with or without the jungler, so whoever the blue team, Hextech Hookers, I believe, is the left team. Their jungler's really going to have to be wary of that and try to be ready for that level 3 engage that Leona and Misfortune are going to be able to put out.
Yeah, definitely. And we do see the Jax and Shadow picking up that Annie. He's been very comfortable with that pick for the past 2 games that he's played.
Now, is this going to be a Jax jungle, or is that going to be going to the top lane?
I'm not sure. It could be both. It could be either or. We'll just have to see if Thrar decides to take that to the top lane or not.
I'd be very surprised if it went to the jungle. Jax jungle. I mean, it's okay. Pretty much anyone can jungle now, but Jax is another one of those champions that needs to get lots of items to really become a big threat later on in the game.
Yeah. Ooh, Heimerdinger, please, the donger. I want to see a donger this game. Oh, the Teemo jungle! Dude, is this the game? Is this the game where I get to see these
There's already too many Yordles.
Oh, please. Please lock in the... Oh, assholes!
So, right now, looking like the purple team just going for a real hard engage. Malphite followed by Leona, and then Lissandra to just come in and completely lock down this team. If Miss Fortune's able to get a really strong bullet time off, that could be really devastating.
Oh yeah, definitely. This purple team, I'd really be scared if I were on the blue team right now. I don't think I want to deal with that much AoE.
Yeah, Synthetic Desire really has a strong team comp right now. Whereas the Hextech hookers, I'm not really... I mean, they've got that AoE from Annie and Sona to follow up the AoE stun, but I'm not really sure where they're going with the Quinn. So it'll be interesting to see how this works out.
Well, they do have some AoE, but it's somewhat kind of small. Like they've got... Well, they got Annie and Sona as AoE, and then Jax kind of has an AoE as well, as if he gets into the middle of the team. But that's going to be really, really dangerous for him if he just decides to just jump straight in.
Well, that's the thing. Like, there's just so much peel for Miss Fortune. Plus, with Rumble's equalizer going down through the middle of all that CC. I mean, just off the bat right now, I'm giving this to Synthetic Desire just at the champion select.
Yeah, this is... Ugh. I don't even know what to say right now. This is just a scary, scary team. But you never know. The blue team could definitely pull something out here.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to depend on how they play their lane, because the laning phase is equally, if not more important at this level, where team fighting is kind of a little bit more loose-ended and mistakes are more prone to happen. So we'll see who can dominate the lane phase and then just snowball that into the late game.
Alright, and we have the teams going into the game, and we will be having a 3-minute delay, so... Erry, let's just chat. How you been, bro?
Busy. That's how I've been. Haven't really had much time to play lately, but got a couple days off here, so just chillaxing.
Nice. Too bad Amumu's been banned. I was hoping... I don't know who had the Canadian Amumu, but I was hoping that you would... they would like get the Canadian Amumu for you so that we could see you get all excited.
I think that was Pokerface, actually, who had it.
Really? Oh.
I think it was. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure if I was playing League at that time or... What were the... No, it was 2000... It's 2008.
It was Olympics, right?
Weren't they? Yeah, was it 2008?
It was probably. It's every 4 years, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think it was 2008. Or no, it was 2010. It was 2010. That's what it was. Anyways.
What are you playing, Raiden?
Who are you picking here? Synthetic Desire or the Hextech hookers?
I would probably go with... I don't want to be like biased or anything, but yeah, definitely the purple team is...
Yes, Synthetic Desire.
What are you watching?
Sorry, Redemption. I'm actually streaming right now. Could you leave my raid call?
Get in the stream room.
I'm gonna move. Fucking Redemption just came into my room because I was in the open room.
That guy sucks.
Oh my gosh, that was kind of funny. I was like trying to ignore him and trying to give him a hint, but he didn't get it.
Well, the only way I can really see the Hextech hookers pulling this off. Jax is going to really need to get fed early. And in the top lane, Cho'Gath will definitely be able to beat out a Rumble. So they've got to get at least 1 or 2 kills on Rumble before 6. So I really hope that Jax sticks to that top lane, can get Cho'Gath ahead so he can really get like an item up on Rumble, and then he can just continuously combo, run in silence Rumble, and you get 2 ruptures and 2 silences onto the Rumble, then the next one you can just go and feast and dead every time. So I think that's going to be the key to their success, is getting Jax and Cho'Gath fed, because Misfortune and Rumble don't really excel at taking down those big beefy targets. And if Jax is able to get an early GA and just go in and soak all kinds of damage early on, that's really what they've got to go for here.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's really going to be up to Thar right here to really initiate the fights with that rupture. If they can land the rupture onto 2 or 3 targets, like the crescendo can come down, the tibbers can come down, and then it'll just be instant melt.
Yeah, exactly. Because if they can get a good one, a Sona flash into a crescendo, Jax jumps in on the entire team, gets his AoE stun off, and then Annie follows that up with a Tibbers AoE stun, rupture. I mean, it definitely can go well for them, but that's to say they have to chain everything together perfectly so that the Synthetic Desire just can't come back and counter-engage on them with all the CC that they have on top of it.
Yeah, Synthetic Desire just has a lot. It's just a lot more. It's easier for them to land like their combo than it will be for.
It really is, because the Malphite ultimate has such a long range. So does the Leona's. So between the 2 of them, it's good. It'll be interesting to see which one of them decides to like do the hard engage. I hope they send Malphite in for that. He's a little bit tankier than Leona generally, and Leona should really be back peeling for Misfortune off the Jax, and who's going to be trying to dive that back line. So for Poke Your Face, I hope he plays it right. Ultimate, chains that ultimate together, and then uses his EQ combo to get back and just peel for Cyclone TJ.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be a tough game here. I can tell for both teams.
Yeah, they've definitely got to really stomp the early game, is, I think, the key to success. That top lane is, I think, we'll see the most action. Rumble's definitely going to need help early, and Malphite and Rumble both don't have a great early game. Their levels 1 to 6 are pretty weak overall, whereas Cho'Gath and Jax, pretty good early game, and a lot of CC in that lane that can follow up. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye out on that the whole game, make sure we don't miss any action up there.
Well, I'm pretty sure this Rumble, at least will probably be able to land his ults better than Seal can land his ults.
Well, obviously, it's Seal.
Yeah, Seal can't land any Rumble ults, doesn't matter. He's like Bronze Elo.
Say no more.
He's like Cardboard 7 Elo Rumble ulti. But yay, we're into the game!
Interesting, Sona didn't go with the Biscuit and Explorer Award. Make sure you line up all of the opposing champions.
Good call, dude. Alright. And so everyone's pretty much finished buying their items as fast as they can. Looks like the red team is going to convene into the blue buff a little bit faster. They're going to get that map presence a little better. And it looks like everyone's just going to...
Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone's planning on going for an early game invade. Interesting that Cho'Gath went with the Null Magic Mantle and the 2 pots against Rumble. He wanted to... As Cho'Gath, you spam a lot of spells, especially in the top lane, to try to get those combos off. So I'm not sure that was the best choice. You don't really got to be too scared of Rumble. And you can see Rumble went with the rejuve bead, pots, and a ward because he knew he's just going to have to try to sustain against this Cho'Gath. So not sure that was the best decision on Cho'Gath's part. Not sure why Annie didn't pick up any pots with her Doran's ring. Since they've lowered the cost, she has 75 gold. She could have easily gotten 2 pots. Not sure if she just forgot or
she got a ward.
What happened there? Oh, she did. She had a ward.
She placed it in the bush and actually.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, odd decision to just sit on 75 gold.
Hey man, you gotta save up. Keep money in the bank.
So both teams doing, pretty standard start. Li Xin, Jack starting at red. I actually like that. It'll help him get through the jungle a little bit quicker. And like I said earlier, that early level 3 gank up top. So Malphite's going to be right on track to be up there at the same time. But that, like we said earlier, that leaves the bottom lane in a weak position against that scary level 2 or level 3 from the Misfortune and Leona in the bottom lane.
It actually looks like Spoosh wants to gank the mid lane as fast as possible, but he doesn't know that he passed through a ward. I thought he was just gonna go for the red to the blue buff camp and then straight up to gank top him. But it looks like he's gonna go in onto this. And this Lissandra's gonna have to really go in for this, and they both flash and they get the first blood onto the blue team.
I don't think they needed to do 2 flashes there. Kill secured, no problem. We'll see if those flashes come into play later on and really end up hurting them in the long run.
Yeah, but this is definitely what we were talking about earlier on, that if Jax were to get, just any sort of lead in the early game, he is going to be really on point to carrying this game. Now it just depends on whether or not he can make sure he can get to the top lane and, just gank really well for his Cho'Gath.
I think we're going to see something here soon in the bottom lane. They're getting a little bit pushed out, which they probably didn't want to do. But Thrall's really playing this way too passive. He needs to force Rumble to zone him and make him use those harpoons. Oh, and he's going for the ignite.
Looks like Rumble's going to go in, straight in. Flame Spitter going down. Thrall got ignite on him. He is going to go down instantaneously. Oh, and the bottom lane, Leona just going to go in, but then going to take a turret shot and just have to back out. Really nothing she can really do when this lane is pushed this hard.
Yeah, Cyclo TJ not really in a place to be able to follow that up.
But yeah, like as you were saying in the top lane, Cho'Gath really needs to, sustain. And the problem right there was that he didn't have any sustain. He only had, two health pots that weren't going to really get him through. He hasn't scaled up into the levels yet where he can, just be a brick wall on the top lane.
Well, since Cho'Gath has all that inherent sustain from his passive, where he continuously gets mana and health back from every single minion he kills, when you go with like an early Fairy Charm, a ward, and a couple of pots, you just become impossible to push out a lane. And that's what you want to do with the early game as Cho'Gath, because his base damages are so good already with his Feral Scream and his Rupture. You just want to constantly harass, and then you can just last hit your way back.
It looks like Malphite come in, going to try to go on Shadow right now. Looks like Downside's going to come in, but it's not going to be enough damage between the two of them, and Shadow's just going to get out really safe.
See, and that's what I was saying earlier. Malphite, not the best early game damage, doesn't bring a whole lot of kill potential to any one lane, where Jax, on the other hand, actually has some decent early game damage, and as we already saw, picking up that first blood.
Yeah, it looks like Thrar and Silent are just going to go straight at each other right here, but looks like, Rumble just being that lane bully, really putting the hurt on.
I'm kind of surprised Duster ended up going with the boots as his first buy after he picked up that early kill. I would have expected him to go with a little bit more damage, so he was already bullying Cho'Gath at the early level, and Rumble just gets stronger and stronger as he gets more points into his abilities. So probably not the best decision to go boots there.
Oh, but we do see Malphite sneaking up into this top lane right here. Both top laners are at half health, but with the jungler being up top right now, it's going to be really, really bad for Thrar if he overextends just even a little bit. But it feels like Rumble's harass is actually scaring Thrar away. Ooh, this is a tense game right here.
Ghosted probably should just move on. Silent Duster's got this lane locked down. Thrar's in a really bad position right now. There's not a whole lot he can do. He lost his early game advantage with Cho'Gath, and Rumble, I think, is going to be a real problem in this game now.
The gold lead is still on Blue's side, however. Definitely that first blood attributing to it. We're going to see just how these lanes turn out. Bottom lane hasn't seen a lot of action yet, so you really can't tell what's going to happen there, but like you said, I think the top lane is going to be where the junglers really want to focus their attention.
Yeah, we'll see. Bottom lane about to hit 6 here shortly. We'll see if one of the junglers come down, try to make a play in the bottom lane, and then go straight to Dragon to extend their advantage.
Yeah, this is really going to depend on Leona playing the aggressor right now. Like, the only problem is they're pushed way too hard for Leona to really do anything.
Sona has no wards right now in the bottom lane. Malphite can pretty much just walk right into this team. So I don't know if Poke Your Face or Cyclo TJ have really been watching Sona's wards or not, and Malphite's aware of this. So we'll see what he decides to do here. Here comes Jax, making his way to the bottom lane. No wards to spot him out. This could be trouble.
However, the wave is pushing in, so I don't think Jax will get his time.
Sona about to hit 6, though, about 2 or 3 more minions away. And looks like Spooch is just going to walk away.
I think he wants to get something done in this mid lane.
Yeah, Annie is falling a little bit behind in CS, behind 16 right now.
Oh, and here we go, the stun coming down, Timbers, and everything going down, the AoE stun. Can Lissandra survive? She ults herself, but no! Spoosh just picks up that kill. Easy peasy, takes the double buff for himself as well.
And there we go, we see it again. Just that overwhelming overlapping of CC, and they're playing it so well right now. So if that extends into the late game, they could end up taking this.
Now Jax is looking like he's going to rush that Wriggles Lantern. That's going to really give the team some sight. And also going to help his jungle clear, since they made Wriggles Lantern more consistent damage against, jungle camps and just minions in general.
Yeah, picking up that blue buff off of Lissandra for Jax was huge, because then he was able to give his back to Annie. So Hextech Hooker's in a great place right now.
Looks like Jax is going to come up top here and meet up with Rumble. Going down, the Equalizer coming down onto Spoosh. Spoosh having to flash out of the Equalizer, but getting so much damage under him. His Ignite coming down. No, looks like Silent Duster's going to take that for himself. He's got the double buff. Oh, and it looks like the mid lane. Shadow just survives barely with the Tick of Health, and Thrar also getting caught right now. Throwing the Silence, throwing the Rupture. Oh, he actually noms him, and buff transfer complete!
And there it is. The true damage on Feast is just so strong. 300 damage to a champion, 306 damage. When you top that off with, he's got 2 points. Now that's interesting. It looks like he is going to be going with a tank build on Cho'Gath. Not going to go for kind of like an AP cooldown reduction bursty mage, or like I like to play Cho'Gath. Goes with the early Wit's End. Jeez, I haven't seen Wit's End built in a long time.
Oh man, that's interesting. Looks like Ghost is just gonna take his red buff though, and Thrar really putting the ward pressure on. He's got a vision ward and a sight ward, so he is not gonna be caught out.
80 carries, pretty similar. Quinn down actually 15 CS now in this bottom lane.
Yeah, but for the most part, this bottom lane has been really passive for what is a very known as a very aggressive support in Leona. So kind of interesting that he hasn't tried to make any big plays.
His balls just aren't quite big enough.
He definitely hasn't been listening to Seal's mentored in houses.
Yeah, not quite ginger enough.
So it looks like Jack's meeting up with Malphite in the jungle. Just a little skirmish going down. Lissandra coming in, trying to keep him off. Oh, actually the ultimate coming down onto Jax. Oh, Leona even coming down too, getting them all, trapping them up. Oh, the bullet time coming down, and it looks like this is going to be a 2-for-0 for the red team. Oh my gosh.
It should be a free dragon, but it looks like they're just going to pass it up. I'm not entirely sure why. They just got their AP mid and their jungler out, and the bot lane's at base, so dragon opportunity completely missed.
Yeah, I think the jungler just felt he was a little bit too weak at the moment, just didn't have enough health, but you could switch tank, and it will be alright.
Yeah, that's the thing. With Malphite, doesn't really, he could have just smited that and back to base and just let Poke Your Face tank it, and when you have your mid and your AD carry there, they would have been able to pick that up no problem uncontested.
Yeah, but they decided just to go for a little bit safer. Looks like his lanes are just gonna go back to the way they were. Nothing too big gonna happen now. But I do think that invade really is gonna put into the mind of Spoosh that he maybe he just shouldn't go in so deep next time. But we do see this blue buff going to be donated to Lissandra, so she's going to be able to really just lay down that poke, get that cooldown on her abilities, and hopefully, she has really good wave clear, so she could really just keep pushing Annie up to the turret. And Annie's really not that great of a farmer under turret. She does have that Q that could really it reef the mana, but it doesn't lower the cooldown at all.
Yeah, the disintegrate refunds the mana, so you don't really have to worry about mana sustain. And she does have 2 Doran's rings.
Oh, and the flash crescendo coming down onto Ghosted. Ghosted taking so much damage. Leona just turning that ultimate down, trying to lock everybody up. But it looks like the bullet time coming down will exchange support for jungler. Well, it looks like they want to kind of go in some more. Spoosh is jumping straight back onto Cyclo, but Cyclo is not going to have any of that. Teleport coming down from Thrar. Thrar, can he land the rupture? No, he can't. But looks like downside is going to come down. Flash in, using her claw. She's going to lock down Thrar and Spoosh. Can she do it? She ults herself. It looks like X Poke Your Face gonna get into the. Oh my gosh! They get the 2-for-1. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Raiden, I think you just confused yourself.
I did a little bit. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, what's going on?
Oh my god! I was looking at the right side, and then there was no death timers, so I didn't really see anything. Ooh, Annie coming down, doing a really good job, laying down that Tibbers onto Lissandra, turning her into a pile of gems that Tarek would definitely like to collect.
I feel like if Downside Up had have elected to not ult himself, and would have gone with the ult on either the Quinn or the Jax, they would have been able to pick up at least 1 or 2 more kills in that fight.
Yeah, but I do think they still came out just a little bit ahead. Rumble was able to get some free farm, and Rumble was able to, just lay down a lot of hurt onto that turret up top.
Yeah, push that turret. Gold's still pretty much dead on even. Dragon still up at 15 minutes. We haven't seen our first dragon. So neither team really too concerned, it seems, about the likes of Mike the Dragon.
That's the dragon's name?
That's his name.
Really?
Mike Dragonson.
Is this verified by Riot?
It's Mike Dragonson.
Mike Dragonson. Alright, I think that's I'm gonna have to call that. I'm gonna call Dragon Mike Dragonson from now on.
So both AD carries right now, pretty similar on items. Quinn looks like she's going with the Blade of the Rune King. And then MF just going for that early bloodthirster.
Oh, we see the Unstoppable Force coming down in the shadow. Equalizer 2. Oh my gosh, so much damage. No, even the barrier can't save him from that. And it looks like Dust is going to take it up, but it looks like bottom lane. Xin Zhao is going to lay down the crescendo onto Cyclo. Cyclo getting the exhaust put on him, but will Fat Wizard be able to get it? Fat Wizard gets it! And looks like they're going to turn on to Poker Face. Poker Face putting the ward down, trying to get Xin Zhao. Oh my gosh, can he get it? Can he get it? No, he can't! The red buff is just slowing him too much. Looks like the colorless goes down, and double kill goes down to Fat Wizard.
Very nice play in the bottom lane there. Picking up a 2 for 0. Great crescendo by Sona, and great follow-up with Quinn. Didn't have to go into the bird form. Could have chased that down. Good call on saving the ultimate, though.
And yeah, Sona definitely, just laying down the exhaust on at a perfect time. She was getting, like, completely dominated for the most part of the fight, and then the exhaust came down. MF could not do any more damage, and Sona just walked away for free.
Yeah, Quinn definitely an underrated AD carry. Whenever she starts to get a few items, she definitely can put out a lot of damage and really surprise most people.
And right now, Thrar is just not caring at all what he does. He's just gonna take that top tower and do as he pleases.
Yeah, once Cho'Gath gets 6 stacks and he's decided to go with not really any health. Ooh, this could be bad for Thrar here.
So you see the equalizer coming down, but Duster, Rumble just has no. He silenced himself. The rupture misses, so Thrar's in a very bad position right now. He has to stall this out just a little bit longer. He does have the Negatron, and he is actually really high in magic resistance at the moment. So it looks like Duster actually isn't really able to do anything to him. Trying his hardest, but the rupture lands and he's super slowed, so you can't really do much. Malphite coming up top, showing himself like, hey, I want to come to the party, but the party's over.
Yeah, Silent Duster, a lot of the time he was walking in front of him with the flame spitter going. Ooh, this could be bad for Jax.
We do see the Timbers coming down onto Ghosted. Ghosted, will he be able to get out? Lissandra coming in. He's taking down Shadow, making sure that he can't go anywhere as well. Putting the ultimate straight onto him, but he does not have the damage for it. But making sure that he actually, saves his teammates. But now he's in a very bad position. Spoosh jumping straight onto him, doing so much damage. Oh my gosh. The W coming down, stunning. Oh my gosh, like my freaking camera is trolling me right now. But Cyclo is getting owned by Fat Wizard.
I'm not sure if Poker Face just disconnected or just genuinely didn't see his AD carry getting destroyed.
Yeah, that was kind of scumbag Leona move right there, just being as his AD carry is getting owned.
Yeah, I could see the Cyclo TJ being pretty upset after that.
But yeah, they do get the turn out of this, and looks like everything's just go back to normal. Lissandra just, she did save Malphite and Rumble, but at the expense of putting herself out of position. It was really not that great. And looks like
we're gonna see our first dragon at the 20-minute mark.
Thrar moving down to the bottom lane, and everyone actually convening on the bottom lane right here because Thrar was able to take that top turret. It really opened up map pressure for them, and now they're just gonna take this dragon for free.
And that really just extends that blue team gold lead, almost at 5,000 gold lead now. So, like we said in the pre-game select, their only option here really was to go for that early game dominance, and so far that's what they're doing. They're getting lots of kills on all the right people. Jax with 2, Annie with 2, and Quinn with 4. Rumble's got 3 of the kills right now, so they've really got to hope that he can land some really good equalizers and they can chain their CC later on, because I think we're going to start to see a lot of team fights come out now.
Yeah, and I like Thrar's build right now. He's opted to go for the magic resistance because this is a this is kind of like a double 0.5 AP comp. Malphite and Leona do magic damage as well, but he knows that MF isn't that big of a threat at the moment, and he doesn't really need armor until later on into the game. So he's gonna hold off onto that, and maybe.
Oh, and
we'll
he
see
is
the next
going with the
item.
cooldown. I do like that choice on the Spirit Visage and the Wit's End. So he's just going to look to be able to spam that Rupture. When with 40% cooldown on Cho'Gath, his Rupture gets down to about a 5-second cooldown, and his Feral Scream goes to about a 6. So you can really chain all kinds of CC on top of each other with the two of those at max CDR.
It looks like we're just gonna see that this is what we normally call the dance of the mid lane, where everyone comes in, but we get the Rupture off onto Ghosted. Spoosh just running straight in. Equalizer coming down. Bullet time coming down from the back. Oh my gosh, so much damage. Tons of damage coming down. The crescendo is beautiful. Hits 4 people, and it looks like blue team's just gonna clean up right here. Silent Buster taking down Quinn. Everyone has to kind of run away right now, but we get another Rupture onto Cyclo. MF goes down, and Silent Buster's gonna go down as well. And we look like Thrard coming up with that ace. And we're gonna see this mid tower gonna take a huge beating and probably go down.
I wish we had some sort of replay. They played that really well. The blue team could have came out of that with a 5-for-1. Fat Wizard just kind of stood there and let Rumble sit in his face instead of electing to kite him backwards, or even going into his tag teaming, going into Valor and removing some distance on himself. So still a great team fight, and just further extending that gold lead now at 7,000 gold.
Just like I was saying in the beginning, it really comes down to Thrar just landing that Rupture onto anybody on the enemy team. And once that Rupture lands, Spoosh is definitely going to just jump straight in and counter-strike and hope to get some kind of CC on. And he is going in straight down, counter-strike onto 3 people of the enemy team. Quinn jumping in with Valor, and he's going to stun Leona. Leona will he go down? No, he flashes out, gets out of there, getting the stun down onto Spoosh. Spoosh gonna go down, but Ghost is gonna have to trade for that one, and it looks like they're just gonna take this one. Shadow just getting a little caught out, and giving the double kill and the blue buff to Lissandra.
Spoosh really got a little aggressive there. The rest of his team wasn't able to follow up when he tried to protect that turret, and it ended up costing them 2 kills.
Yeah, and Annie's ultimate was gonna come up in just a couple more seconds, and I think they should have just let that tower go. It was one of those, this tower is at really, really low HP, and we should just kind of give it up.
Yeah, I mean, the mid tower definitely one of the more important towers. At 25 minutes into the game, they would have been better off giving up that tower that was already at 10-20% HP as opposed to losing 2 deaths. And now they just have free reign to ward and be ready to contest at Baron and the next dragon, which we're going to see in the next minute or two.
So we do see some split pushing coming down from Thrar in the top lane, just pushing it up. But Rumble is going to meet the minion wave and make sure that doesn't get too far out of control.
Cho'Gath's still sitting on 6 feasts. Looks like he's going with a Randuin's Omen, if I had to guess, with that double cloth armor pickup. So Cho'Gath just going to be really resistance heavy, going with that high EHP bar as opposed to just stacking pure health. And really that's definitely the way that you want to play Cho'Gath. Having a high effective health pool is way better than just stacking all kinds of health.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like they're going to come up to the top lane just to make sure that nothing happens to this turret. He has a huge minion wave on him, so he's going to get a nice amount of gold. But looks like Malphite and Leona coming from the back, wanting to flank a little bit. But they're going to get spotted on the ward.
Really in a position to follow this up, so good decision to just back away. We're going to see Dragon coming up really soon.
Yeah, I think it's going to come up in I think like
in 10
seconds. Yeah. So we're definitely going to see the next big move going to be a Dragon. Both teams do have wards on the Dragon, and we're going to see who decides to have the balls to man up to go try and take it.
Another team has a finger on them right now, so it'll be interesting if one team elects to go back and get a pink ward so they can do that a little bit more safe. Cho'Gath a little bit separated from the team.
He lands the rupture onto Rumble right there, but looks like nothing's gonna happen out of this one. Good
As
call.
Cho'Gath, when you're that full scary tank, you really want to just walk straight into a team, get all kinds of aggro, and get that Feral Scream on as many people as possible, and then chain your Rupture on top of it. Because then they can't, when they're silenced, you can't flash, you can't use any sort of
So we got a huge
ability.
team fight coming down. Equalizer, bullet time, everything going, but everything does not seem to be going the blue team's way right now. Oh, but Quinn taking down the Rumble instantaneously in the Valor form. Exhaust is on right now onto Cyclo. Cyclo, will he take it down? He just pops the barrier. He tries to flash. No, the quadra kill coming down for Quinn. Oh my gosh,
Nice
and the buff transfer
there.
complete.
The purple team actually picked a great place to fight. They blocked off that entire exit in that choke with the equalizer. The whole team had to go run through that if they wanted to be a part of the team fight. They just were targeting the wrong people. Cho'Gath so tanky right now, and all kinds of damage went out on Spoosh while he had his Counter-Strike going. So a lot of it was just completely negated.
Yeah, I would like to say that Fat Wizard definitely made a really, really good call to go into Valor form and then just dive straight onto Rumble. He used his W to seek out Rumble, and he actually, the way he dived onto him, it dodged the equalizer and moved him out of it, and just straight up gave him a free kill. And then as soon as he popped out of his, Valor form, all the arrow damage just landed right onto MF, and that was extra damage that he, could use against MF.
See, Miss Fortune going with the Phantom Dancer here, I don't really like that decision. Their whole team comp is revolving around her bullet time, landing on the entire team, and just absolutely demolishing everyone. I think a better pick would have just been to go either into another Infinity Edge or straight to a Last Whisper so she can get through that Cho'Gath and through Spooch a lot better. We'll see how it pays off here. She's not going to be able to do a whole lot of just auto-attacking in your face, so not sure that was the best pickup on Miss Fortune here.
So we do see this top tower living another day. We got both Annie and we got Quinn up top, just getting their minions CS, on. Just kinda. Oh, actually, Annie just leaving, giving everything to Quinn. They're really funneling that gold into Quinn right now, and it's really paying off for them. She's got an Infinity Edge, and she's working on that Phantom Dancer.
And that's a good choice for Quinn right now. She realizes that I don't know why she's going with a Zeal on top of the already Blade of the Rune King. A Last Whisper would have been better. If you look at the enemy team, Leona, lots of armor. Lysandra already has Zonia's completed. Malphite, plenty of armor as well. And Rumble also going for what looks like a Zonia's. So the entire team, pretty much, besides Miss Fortune, already has a significant amount of armor. I think Last Whisper would have been way better than a second attack speed item for Quinn.
Yeah, but we're going to definitely have to see how this pans out because she has been doing a really wonderful job of just team fighting.
Oh, absolutely. Leona really needs to get that Aegis completed.
And we do see the ultimate coming down, equalizer coming in, everyone getting locked up. Oh, the bullet time doing so much damage. Spoosh jumping straight into the back line onto MF. Can he do enough damage onto her? No, she's gonna kite. No, but Thrar takes out her. And it looks like there's still 4 teams on the enemy team. Oh my gosh, Quinn is on the bottom lane, not in this fight. This is definitely red team benefits from that. And it looks like they're just gonna go straight onto Zinzao. He's gonna get Cox. Oh no, he flashes out. Looks like no one's gonna be able to really catch up with him, so they're just gonna get a free turret on the mid.
Excellent fight there by those guys. Realizing it was a 4v5, Quinn in the bottom lane, and just chain the CC so well. The Leona ultimate hitting so many people with the solar flare, followed by Malphite landing the unstoppable force on top of it. Rumble's equalizer. Jax did a good job to get to Miss Fortune and interrupt the bullet time before a full cast could get off, but looks like they're still going to be able to pick up a free Baron here.
And this is a really good call right here, actually. When just after getting that big team fight. But it looks like they don't actually have the damage for this. They don't have Cyclo, and they really can't do this, so
Good
they're gonna
call
back out.
Good decision to walk out of this one. Without the 80 carry, they really have no damage, consistent damage. Lissandra, a burst mage, not really going to see a whole lot of consistent damage. Ghosted gets out just in time.
And right now, this Leona's mobility boost is it's really saving her life right now. She's just picking up all that speed so that she just gets out of there as fast as she possibly can.
Yeah, nice dodging of the ruptures there by Poker Face for sure. Cho'Gath needs to get his feast stacks back up, so he's only sitting at 2. The team would be smart here for it to wait. I mean, the cooldown on it's only 40 seconds, so they'd be pretty smart to let him get his feast back up, get that extra 150 health from each stack. So with 4 more of those, he's going to be sitting on an extra 600 health. That's something that you can't really pass up on.
Yeah, so we do see Leona just clearing out wards in their jungle, making sure that blue team can't get that vision on them. It looks like it's gonna be they're just gonna kind of congregate in the mid lane, and the Baron, a Ghosted going over and just clearing that ward up too, gonna even deny them even more vision. So not a lot happening right now. I think Xin Zhao definitely needs to pick up that Oracle soon, or Thrar picking up that Oracle.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. They're going to need an Oracles if they want to be able to bait a bush or contest for Baron and clear out all the vision around there. So looks like he is going to go back and pick one up here, I would say. Meanwhile, Synthetic Desire pushing down the mid lane, trying to pressure that mid tower and get an inhibitor. I think the Synthetic Desire, after that last team fight, really built up some good...
Ooh, we got the Rupture going down, but it looks like they're just going to be able to back out of this one. Malphite actually coming back in with the counter initiate with the Unstoppable Force Equalizer, and Leona's ultimate going down, and Tomb coming down onto Lissandra per herself, but she's going to actually have the Zanyas, and she doesn't look like she's going to be able to get out of this one. Thrall's just going to pick this one nice and easy, and just a roar to the face will take her down. Oh, it looks like Jack's taking down Rumble, doing a really good job. But you see Annie right now actually kind of getting caught.
I don't think that Synthetic Desire was all on the same page there. It looked like the Malphite ultimate kind of caught them off guard. They chained all the CC properly, but no one was really on point to follow it up.
Yeah, we were just going to see Jax right here just chasing over and over and over. Looks like Malphite is going to get caught right here. There's really no way he can get out of this one. He actually lost the line of sight, so Thrar couldn't actually nom him, but looks like to no avail. A hungry Zergling is going to get his dinner no matter what. And looks like Hextech Hookers is going to go straight for this Baron right here. They know 3 of the enemy is down, and they don't have a jungler for a smite.
This could be bad though. Misfortune, bullet time not quite up yet. It's got about 40 seconds left. They're able to stall this out just a little bit, and if she can get a bullet time across there, she might be able to steal it. Doesn't look like they're going to have the time though. And
yeah, Jax is just doing a ton of damage to this Baron right now, and there's really not going to be much, and he just takes it for free.
I hate to see people waste ultimates like that. Pokerface wasted Solar Flare. It would have been different if he was going for steal. I think he was just trying to scare them. I don't really know what his reasoning for that was, but now they've got to wait a minute for his ultimate to come back up, and they can't really do anything to engage on them after they're low from that Baron buff.
Yeah, but I think that, Synthetic Desire are going to make sure that they just kind of turtle this one up. They don't really want to fight the Hextech Hookers at the moment for
they
any
traded
reason.
the Dragon for the Baron. Definitely not worth it, but equalizes it a little bit. We're sitting at a 10,000 gold difference. Lissandra's going to pick up her blue buff. So they've got to give up that mid second tier tower and really hope to fight in that choke point at the inhibitor turret and just really chain some CC together and get a perfect Misfortune ultimate across the entire team. She has the Last Whisper finished now. she should be able to shred through just about everyone in this team fight. So, not sure why Hextech hookers are just farming the jungle while they have this Baron buff. They need to go pressure these turrets and at least get an inhibitor off of this. So, they might just be trying to beat a jungle fight, but doesn't look like Synthetic Desire wants anything to do with it.
Yeah, we definitely see that this has been a big problem for teams. They get the Baron buff, and then they kind of don't know what to do with it. They kind of walk around, and meander about, and then, before you know it, the Baron buff is gone.
Exactly. Baron buff, it lasts a long time, but not near as long as you think it does. So, they've already wasted half of the buff, and they've done absolutely nothing besides steal some of their jungle. And since Synthetic Desire took their blue buff, took the dragon, there's nothing for them to really take. A wolf camp, not a huge deal. They need to go and they need to pressure something. The regen, the AD, and the ability power from Baron buff, you can't afford not to.
It looks like they're going to congregate into the mid lane and finally decide to just
and they
take
need
up
to just
this
get
turret.
this tower. I really hope they don't try to fight here. This is not the fight that they want. They want to wait till they're in that choke. But why are they running away?
They're pushing the minions, making sure that they can get that to the turret.
The wave wasn't cleared.
So yeah, they definitely don't. They definitely know they don't want to. They don't want to have to fight under the turret with no minions whatsoever. But the wave clear from Synthetic Desire is just a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I think the only way they're going to be, they have to, Sona's got the crescendo and the flash up, so that's what it's going to have to be. I mean, if you look at them right now, they're all just grouped in a tight ball. Sona easily can come in and get a great flash crescendo, and if that happens, I think that's going to be GG.
Yeah, and Thora opting right now to just split push. He does have the teleport up, so he can join a fight whenever. Just has to make sure that he doesn't get caught while teleporting.
The split push right now with Baron, I think they're a lot stronger as 5. Their team comp really resides around the Cho'Gath getting into the center and soaking all that damage. Rupture, Frail Scream, and he has decided to come back.
So there's a Rupture down. Rupture lands on Leona, but not much going to happen. Looks like Lysandra's going to actually jump into the middle, but not much going to happen there. Third Solar Flare coming down.
There it is again, wasting ultimates. Now they're down Solar Flare, and it's going to be that much harder to defend at this turret.
Yeah, but Baron buff has run out, but they did get the middle turret for that, and definitely good pickup for Hextech hookers.
So right now, what Synthetic Desire needs to do, they need to look to pressure these stopping, get that turret down, get some more gold out to the team, maybe get the second tier turret, even up the game in turrets, and that's going to close that gap in the gold and give them a fighting chance at this game right now.
Yeah, and they also really need to bank on Hextech hookers just making a mistake and just hoping that they can play off of that. We do see a lot of minion pushing at the moment, just trying to move around the lanes. They're hoping that they can
Neither
get something
team
happen.
really wanting to commit to a team fight, both scared. I think they realize that one bad team fight right now could really shift the momentum in one team's favor. So I don't think anyone wants to be that guy who threw the game.
Yeah, they're just going to take this slow and keep split pushing every single lane and push up every other, just pushing up mid and pushing up top seems to be the big
But the
big
longer
strategy right now.
The longer you're messing around and the longer it is that the team has to catch up. They had a 10,000. They still have a 10,000 gold.
Solar Flare and Unstoppable Force coming down. Equalizer coming into the fight. Bullet Time. Oh, but a Crescendo blocking off that Bullet Time perfectly. And it looks like Fat Wizard just going to have to keep kiting this one over and over. Rumble jumping into his face. Can he kill him? No. He has to flash out because he's just taking so much damage into the face. But it looks like it's just going to be 1-for-1 actually from a crazy team fight.
And Sona actually realizing that, okay, I need to wait and save this Crescendo. They're just almost letting them engage on them and just soaking the damage. And then as soon as they know that the only damage coming out right now is from the bull time. So she's just waiting, getting that max rank crescendo out onto Cyclo TJ and just completely shutting down their damage.
And that was definitely a big... That fight, I would have to say, really went well for Hextech Hookers, because we can definitely see in the top tier right here, it has actually gone down to... It's at a third of its HP. So they actually won that. They traded 1 for 1 and they got 2/3 of damage onto that turret.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They got some good damage on the turret. Synthetic Hookers played that well. Just Misfortune needed to be on the other side of that wall because the lack of vision there. She couldn't see Sona, just able to easily interrupt that, and that's what really ended up costing her in the long run.
Yeah, we do also still see a little bit of a delay, it seems, from their calls. It seems Leona and Malphite know what they want to do, but then everyone else is just a little tad bit, a little late to the calls.
Cho'Gath back at that 6-stack tear, 100% CDR, sitting on 260 armor and 214 magic resist. So really extremely scary right now.
And it looks like, the red team is going to be caught out near Baron over there. They do not. They really need to get back as fast as possible, or else... Oh, what's going on? Oh, it looks like a pause coming down. Maybe someone DC'd. But
Not
anyways...
Sure what's going on right now. Quinn in the bottom lane right now, though. So, I'm not sure why the red team just... I guess they didn't want to lose the mid-tower inhibitor for Baron. It's a tough decision to say. If you can trade, get the Baron, lose the inhibitor, but then come back and then go take an inhibitor of your own, then it's worth it. But with the teams both being a little bit scared to team fight, I'm not sure they'd be able to pull that off.
Alright, so we are getting back into this game. But definitely we see that red team is backing right now. But Hextech Hookers doesn't know that... doesn't really have the vision on the map at the moment to really see Synthetic Desires moving in towards that Baron, and really it's kind of unfortunate because they could have just kept pushing up that mid. So again, there's just various split pushing going on, but the wave clear from Synthetic Desires is just too good right now. They really can't force anything at the moment. They really should just do the strategy they had again. Go top lane, have Cho'Gath tank for a bit, and then force Synthetic Desires to go. But it looks like Malphite actually going to catch out Annie and Sona. Oh, the equalizer coming down too. Tons of damage going down. Looks like the bullet time actually going to miss just a little bit. It's a hair off, and Sona's going to get out of that fight well. But looks like Ghost is just going to take down onto Fat Wizard, hoping he can do anything he needs. The Rupture coming down onto both Malphite and Leona. So much damage. Actually, this fight getting turned around so well. Oh my gosh. Double kill onto Quinn.
Poker Face just completely tunnel visioned on chasing Sona. Left Cyclo TJ all alone. Defend against a Jax that's got quite a few items right now. And that looks like it's going to be the game here. They picked off Annie so early. Annie didn't even get to use her Tibbers or anything. If they wouldn't have left Cyclo TJ alone there, I think they could have gotten it. And looks like they're gonna just get all the inhibitors down instead of just ending the game right now. I'm not entirely sure why.
Well, it is definitely a safe, I think it's safe to say that either decision is still good, but it looks like they're gonna go straight with all these minions onto the turret and the Nexus. And it looks like this is gonna be the game. We have Malphite trying to home guard in, but can he really do enough? Actually, the Lysandra home guard flashing in too, doing a lot of work right here, getting the ultimate down to herself. Looks like but Sona just doesn't have the crescendo up, he has the crescendo but doesn't have the mana enough to do anything.
See, so if they would have gone straight to the Nexus there and not gone with that tower and inhibitor, and just walked straight up the middle, that'd be a game right now. Now all that did was give Synthetic Desire another chance at a team fight and be able to turn this around.
Yeah, and I would say that it was definitely really, really scary right there. The Annie just getting insta-bursted. But it was a really good job from Hextech Hookers just to keep in that fight. That Guardian Angel on Quinn definitely doing work. The magic resist and the armor, allowing her to just live against, Malphite. I mean, Malphite doesn't exactly do a lot of damage either. But, just having that up really helps. And looks like the red team is going to go straight for the Baron right now.
This is a great call by them. They definitely needed something to turn the tide in their favor right now. Free Baron. They're going to be able to defend their base safely and even push out in a lane. And since they don't have a teleport, they're not going to be able to split push out both lanes. But still a great pickup on the Baron.
Yeah, but this is still a very scary situation for Synthetic Desire because all the flashes besides Jax's is up. So they could potentially have... Oh, no, Annie's not up either. But they could potentially just have a Sona crescendo straight into the enemy team, followed by a Rupture and followed by a Tibbers, and it would just end Synthetic Desires. But everyone also has, they have a really good counterplay. Hopefully they can land the ultis right again and just, get the damage they need onto Hextech Hookers.
Now this game moving into the 47th minute here now, they've really got to close this out before it becomes just a 6-item game. And then all it turns into is one team fight, one mistake, and the game's over.
I still have to say the late game from Hextech Hookers is a bit better, I think, than Synthetic Desires. And it looks like they're just gonna opt for a Call of Duty style type of gameplay where they just camp a bush and hope someone comes by.
They're fishing, hoping to catch the big fish.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they're sending Thrar up to the mid lane. They're gonna start moving in. They have pretty much all map coverage.
Sona, they're getting spotted by that ward here right now, and weird ward placement.
And they're just gonna opt to go for this top lane. Definitely a very smart move. I was gonna say they should just go for this top lane, get the third inhib down, and then
Spawn
just
double super minions, and then
all
their
the super minions
base is going to
spawning
be overwhelmed. They need to fight them right now while they saw this Baron buff. There's only about 40
It looks like
seconds
Jax
left.
jumping in straight into the fray. Equalizer, bullet time, and all the ultimates coming down. Crescendo, beautiful, stopping it. But it looks like they are actually gonna just take down the turret. Quinn just focusing that thing down, and it looks like it's gonna be a victory.
What they needed to fight that out at that turret if they wanted to have any chance at extending this game and potentially getting the win. So they weren't able to do that, and good game all around.
Yeah, I say that's definitely good decision making coming out from the Hextech Hookers. They have definitely shown that they know exactly what they need to do at the right time, and it really showed in this team fight. Just everyone playing extremely well, and I'd say that the Synthetic Desires, their team comp, and they executed it perfectly. They had all the ultis just land straight onto everybody. It just didn't do enough. I feel they were just put a little bit too far behind, that their combos just weren't able to align together to do enough damage to make sure that MF could just plow through the whole enemy line.
Yeah, exactly. And other news, Nathan killing it in Call of Duty right now.
Alright, but that is our cast of Hextech Hookers versus Synthetic Desires, and I hope you enjoyed it. This is DBZ Raiden with Errylander.
And that's me.
And we're gonna sign off.